And what is up? This is Terminator Juice. This is going to be a little solo video, mainly because I wanted to test a change that's happening to live videos. Used to be Google Hangouts, but on September 12th, they're switching to YouTube Live. So I'm doing a test. I can see that the Q&A app's not here, so I'm going to give me a minute. I'm going to jump on the YouTube and see if there's a chat. I see it, but yeah, so the Q&A app is not working, so that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. So I guess if you're watching this live, gonna have to go to the YouTube page. There is a looks like a live chat. Unfortunately, I can't watch it and talk at the same time because I can mute it, but it's probably super bright. So and it's not giving me an immediate live feed of what's going on. So yeah, that's a bummer. This is supposed to be a Q&A, but I'll just try to figure it out for next time. So yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, this is definitely a test because I had to set it up through YouTube Live's little portal page or whatever for creating live events, live streaming, and I didn't give me an option to have a Q&A app. So bummer. But anyway, moving forward, we'll try to figure it out. So I guess I'll just give my thoughts on Metroid Prime Federation Force. Now that I've beaten the game, I have 14 and a half hours. I was just playing and actually lost track of time. Replaying a mission to accomplish one of the objectives to get a different ending. If you don't want spoilers, I won't go into it. So, and this is going to be pretty much spoiler free for the most part. But yeah, so first and foremost, like I said on the Juice is Loose on Monday, I think it's a great game, especially as a 3DS game. It's a really great 3DS game. If this game in its like exact form was on Wii U, I would say it's kind of a shallow experience for a console game. But then again, it's $40. If it was $40 on Wii U, it'd been fine. Thanks to Amazon Prime membership, I paid $33.91 for this game, so just basically $34, and it's great. I think presentation's top notch, sound design, sound effects, really high quality, and just the overall package is just a polished Nintendo product. Simple as that. If you like the Metroid Prime series, you'll feel right at home controlling a game in first person controls, whether you use the default where you have to hold the R button and then you can use the gyro, or the secondary where you use the C stick on the new 3DS as the second analog stick. You lose a little bit of precision, but it just feels more natural for me, so that's what I did. I know Rob of Rule 2 plays with the default, but just like I said, solid package, high polish, just a quality product. So the visuals, I think they look great. Some people, Ms. T was saying he thought the textures were a little bland, but I mean, with the lighting that they have and the art style, I mean, yeah, if you really look close, there's low textures and jaggies, but it's a 3DS game, and with the 3D on, it's a really convincing depth of field, and I think it's a great looking game. I'd put it in the top 5 3DS games visually, technically speaking. And I've never really complained about the chibi art style, for the Federation Force. I didn't think twice about it till someone pointed it out on the podcast. I pretty much had forgotten all about that, and I was just from the visor perspective, you see your gun, and I was playing solo a lot, so I didn't really see the other mechs that often, even when you see your own. I mean, the mech feels pretty well proportioned. I guess when you're out of the mech, your character's head is definitely bigger than normal. But the creature designs, the space pirates, everything looks great, I think. With the limitations of the 3DS, there's polygon limitations and textures and stuff, but I think it's a great looking game. So really no no points taken off there. The only like negatives, I guess I would say, would be that there's not a lot of like depth to most of the missions. There's a lot of varied missions, so it feels pretty fresh. But some, you're kind of going through and it takes a while. Others are just straight into a boss fight. I think there's 2 or 3 like that where it's pretty much straight into basically a boss. One's a ship that you're attacking, and it does break up the game and it feels different. But for me, I'd like a little more trekking through the environment before getting to a boss fight. So for me personally, I don't like that it jumps straight to a boss fight on a couple of them. And then hand cramps are a problem for me. That's why I'm not a huge handheld guy, even though I bought the Game Boy Advance and the DS and now the 3DS. I can't play for super long periods of time. I can push through it, but it's pretty uncomfortable. And by the end of like 2-hour session, I can barely move the C stick to move the camera. So that's kind of a negative. The co-op works great, but there's, whether it's people didn't buy the game or they're not playing online, it was hard for me to find a lobby for mission 22, which is the final one. So I had to go it solo. So I actually beat the game playing it solo. I modded up. I have 3 mod slots, and I went with like the +7 to add to your items you can carry to the weight. I did the solo whatever mod that deals double damage, and you take half double damage to enemies, and you take half the damage. And then I went with 100% of replenishing. It doubles the amount of health from a health capsule. And I tried 2 tries. I failed, and by the 3rd try, I figured out what I needed to do. I can get past the first few rooms with space pirates pretty easily and save my missiles for the final. And yeah, so, but what I was gonna say is getting friends together. It's a problem because everybody's got busy schedules, and Ms. T, he's got work, he's got kids. Rob's on the West Coast. Terrell didn't buy the game, but so me and Robert are the only 2 that I played. It was out of the Juices Loose team. It was just me and Robert, the only 2 that have played together so far. So that's just an issue I've had with co-op games since their inception, is finding time for 2 friends to meet up is always an issue. So I just went ahead and did randoms. I think I played 11 or 12 missions with co-op, and the other 11, 10, whatever left solo. And then I think I did 4 or 5 with Robert. So so I played the gamut, and it's not really a negative, except for just a negative that any co-op game has. It's trying to find time for your friends and scheduling the same time to play. So that's kind of what I was worried about, and why I didn't buy Triforce Heroes. But it does feel with solo, with the mod that gives you double damage and you take half damage, gives you a fighting chance. You can beat some of the harder ones solo, and it feels pretty good solo. I mean, yeah, there's a few that it's like impossible. You need somebody to protect you as you're carrying. I forget what it's called. This ball you can't shoot. As soon as you drop it, it like takes off. So it's like a couple of them are pretty much, I would say, next to impossible by yourself. But for the most part, I got through, like I said, 10 or 11 of them by myself. So yeah, it's not a huge complaint for some people playing with randoms. I mean, it works fine. You have the preset voice commands, and I had no issues getting to the objective and getting people to do what they need to do. So yeah, that's really the only minor complaints. Every once in a while, the 3D flickers, and I don't know if it's the game is too taxing on the 3DS or if it's just my eyes or something. Every once in a while, the 3D goes in and out. I've never had that problem with my new 3DS on any other game, but I haven't played a ton of 3D type games. So like Smash Brothers, I usually have the 3D off, and like I'd already been beaten 3D, not 3D, Luigi's Mansion by the time I got the new one, and Fire Emblem I played minimally with 3D on. Didn't really make a difference. So, but anyway, yeah, so I really like the game. I would recommend it to anyone that has a 3DS, especially the new 3DS. And if you like the Metroid Prime games, you'll enjoy it. And I definitely feel it deserves the Metroid Prime title. It's a spinoff. It's always was a spinoff from day one. It was a co-op kind of experience, and I like the story elements are minimal, but what's there is pretty cool. Gives you some insight into the Federation force, and yeah, there's some pretty epic cinematics and stuff before and after missions, and some really cool like highlight missions for me. There's one where this sandstorm's coming, and you get like a minute to push this like sled, and then when the storm comes, you got to be in these little smaller rooms to take cover, and just the effect of the storm coming, the siren, and the visuals they went with worked really well. It's probably the most memorable mission for me. It was really cool. It reminded me of Chronicles of Riddick, that planet where the sun comes up and they had to outrun the heat and stuff. It's like that, but it happens multiple times on the mission, so that was really cool. And then the final fight, I won't spoil it, but some people were like, "Oh, it's a slap in the face to Metroid fans." I thought it was cool, and they didn't really set up how that fight, why it happened. They didn't really give you enough like any kind of hints beforehand. It's just boom, there's your final boss, and it's like there was no suggestions that anything leading up to that was going to happen. But it was a fairly challenging. Just quick tip for you: use the freeze weapon, side weapon, whatever it's called. That comes in very handy. So if you're going to play by yourself, take as many as you can. If you're playing with a group, make sure somebody takes a bunch of them, and it really helps. So, but yeah, it definitely didn't deserve all the controversy, the downvotes and stuff. I mean, if you don't like the art style, you don't like it, but it doesn't affect the game. Like I said, the space pirates look fine. They look actually better than they do in Metroid Prime. I don't know how much better they look in Metroid Prime 3. I only played through that game once, and I can't quite remember. It's like 9 years ago now. I can't quite remember how they looked. But anyone that joined late, the Q&A app didn't pop up. I had to set this up through YouTube Live instead of Google Hangouts. I'll check the YouTube. I see Retro Death does have a question, so I'll read that. He asked, do you think even though Federation Force got such a backlash by the so-called Metroid fans, now that most people who are playing it are praising it, do you think we'll see another Federation Force in the distant future? I don't know if a specific Federation Force game. I would definitely think this is the groundwork for a co-op experience that could add to a console Metroid game, Metroid Prime 4, whatever they do in the future. Like I said in the Juice is Loose, they could just take that formula and have it as your side mode, not your main, game. But for all the people who have said Metroid would be perfect for a multiplayer mode, I think the Federation Force, the co-op experience, and then add like a team deathmatch or something, I think could be really cool on top of. So I would definitely think would see that. I don't know that we'll ever see a Federation Force game. And again, if you want to get about probably a few more minutes here, but if you want to jump on YouTube and there is a live chat, I'll try to figure out in the future how to get this the Q&A app to work through the YouTube live creation page. So yeah, this was a bit of a test, and I also wanted to give my thoughts on Federation Force without the influence of the other members of the Juice is Loose. Just want to give you guys directly to you how I felt about this game. I'm going to start playing as soon as I end this live stream. And there's definitely replayability on missions because of the objectives and the gold rate. Like if you beat the mission, you get a gold. If you get, let's say, mission 1, if you get 13,000 points, you get 2 gold. And if you get 18,000, you get 3, whatever it is. And to get those points, there's little secondary objectives, which they don't tell you until after the mission. I think it would be better if they told you beforehand. but once you replay it, you know what you got to do. Hey, don't take any damage from gas on this one level. Now that I know that, I'll avoid the gas and get the bonus, which could be 5,000, 9,000, whatever the points are to get you to that next medal or the next gold. I do have at least two on every mission, except one. I think I have. There's one where there's an egg that you have to carry, and it's going to be kind of a pain by myself, but I'm going to try it again. But yeah, but overall, I think it's a great game. Definitely didn't deserve all the negativity. Anyone that reviewed it low, they're just still butthurt about this isn't a Metroid game that I wanted. And it's like, I'm just going to judge the game on what it is. It's a spinoff set in the Metroid Prime universe, has great atmosphere, great sound, great controls, and deserves the Metroid Prime name just based on the quality of the game. There's definitely some intelligent systems like when you pick up, like you shoot a crate and it gives you like the icon for like a health pack, and when you get it, kind of makes the same kind of noises in Luigi's Mansion when you picked up objects. So I definitely can tell intelligent systems worked on. I mean, you can just kind of hear it, some similarities there. So if you like Luigi's Mansion, you like intelligent systems, you like the way Metroid Prime plays, the original, you're going to like this game. Other than there's no morph ball and there's no scanning. I mean, I felt like I wanted to scan stuff all the time, and you can't, but they didn't want to. If they're going to do that, then just put Samus in the game. You're controlling Samus. It's the Federation Force. They have different gameplay mechanics than just the same as Samus, which I thought was a good choice. But getting back onto why I'm not upset, playing Other M, I'm more upset that game exists. And now that I played both, I don't know what they were thinking with that. Just wasn't a very good game. It just played like crap. It was a terrible Metroid game and a pretty lackluster game if it didn't have Metroid on it. And Federation Force feels way more polished and maybe not more Metroid in the mission layout. Like there's not backtracking. There's not, hey, you get this upgrade, now you can go to this area. That's in Other M, but Other M's so terrible in every other way that doesn't make up for anything. But it's definitely missing from Federation Force. But the way they have the missions, the way that each one feels pretty different, and there's a lot of fun to be had co-op and by yourself. And then Blast Ball, I mean, I have fun playing it, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's a blast, pun intended, but it's fun to, every once in a while when I'm done with a mission or whatever, I'll just play a level, not a level, but a game of Blast Ball. And I mean, it's fun. It's not going to take off like Rocket League or anything, but maybe it had the potential. But it's pretty simplistic, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like a ton of people are digging it as much as me. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be it. Like I said in the beginning, for anyone that just joined, the Q&A app didn't pop up. I'm going to have to try to figure this out for the future, because September 12th, starting then every time I do a podcast, I'm going to have to set it up through the YouTube live page. I'm going to have to figure out how to get the Q&A app working. So, but yeah, that's going to be it. Tomorrow will be the Juices Loose podcast, and don't know what we're going to talk about yet. So definitely I'll set that up through Google Hangouts while I still can. Definitely going to be relying on questions on that tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in. Leave me your comments below, and we'll see you next time.